had his whole life figured out. Saint Ignatius of Loyola was a handsome, rich, nobleman and a soldier, and he had a promising career in the military. But then, God called him. Now, the story as to how God called him is a story for another time. God called him to do what exactly? Saint Ignatius wasn't sure. He just knew God was calling him. So for the next few years, he spends it basically being a hobo, until one day he had a mystical experience. In it, God infused him knowledge and wisdom. So with this, he starts preaching. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's why he had so many years of just wandering around aimlessly, all these sacrifices. It was for him to preach. Maybe that's what God wanted. The Inquisition got wind of him teaching and they questioned him several times. And they find out that Saint Ignatius knows his stuff. So instead they say, okay, you can't preach, but if you really want to preach, you have to get a university degree. A university degree? This is pretty late in life. And most people would be like, I give up. I'm just too old for this. I can't do this anymore. But not Saint Ignatius. In his late 30s, he starts taking basic Latin classes with 10-year-olds. Can you imagine this? A man who used to command troops, now learning basic Latin with 10-year-olds. He perseveres, he gets his university degree, and now he wants to go preach to the Muslims. He tells himself, this is it. This was the purpose for all my struggles. It's to preach to the Muslims. But for circumstances outside his control, he can't. Anyone would have given up at this point, but not Saint Ignatius. Saint Ignatius was a soldier, and as a soldier, he understood that a soldier may not see the big picture, but a soldier's duty is to follow the commands of his officer. When Saint Ignatius was fighting under the banner of the most brilliant officer and commander, our Lord Jesus Christ, it is a good thing he followed our Lord because he founds one of the greatest orders of the Catholic Church, the Society of Jesus, in the time when the Catholic Church needed them the most, because this was the time of the Protestant Reformation, and the Society of Jesus combated the spread of Protestantism in Europe and helped spread the word of Christ to pagan lands around the world. So if, like Saint Ignatius, you're faced with setback after setback, you have no idea what you're doing with your life, you think you're too old to start anything, trust in the Lord. He has great plans for you.